Hey everybody, Scott Hogan coming at you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to have today a very important part of the golf swing, which is P3, position 3, going over the middle of the backswing, which is really important because this gets you set up for a good downswing. A lot of issues in the downswing come through when you have a poor backswing, so we want to get into that. If you haven't watched video 1 or 2, position 1 and 2, in this series, I'm going to link those down below. Make sure you check those out because you're going to need some of those basics, and I'm going to try and tie everything together. But you really, you need to have those fundamentals down before you can build further into your swing. Just remember, as you continue through a swing, if you have something that gets off early, it's just going to have to be something you compensate for later on in the golf swing. So we don't like that, and then we start getting a lot of issues as we go forward. So without further ado, click that subscribe button. And if you're looking for help, if this is helping your swing, but you're looking for more personalized help, make sure you check out our online golf academy, scotthogangolf.com. I'll link that down below. And without further ado, let's get into P3, getting through that backswing. All right, so let's start going over P3 in the golf swing. So if you're not familiar with what P3 is is when our left arm and our backswing, or our lead arm, for me it's my left arm, is parallel to the ground. Okay, so if you're not familiar with what P1 and 2 are, make sure you go back and watch those videos. P1 being addressed, P2 club is parallel to the ground. Now, as we go through our swing, let's talk a little bit about what I see and what are some of the biggest issues I see as people work through their backswing and they start getting the club to P3. So the first one is pretty much the most common, is they get the golf club that it's too laid off, it's too flat. So if they were to draw a line from the butt end of the club, that points well out past, if we were to draw a line through the golf ball, it points way outside of that. Okay, so we call this the ball line. All right, that causes issues because what people really need to know is the golf club tries to work itself back to this angle that we start at when we swing. It tries to get back to the angle that it's built on. But the problem is, as we go through a swing, it doesn't always work out. When we bring this club back, the club, most people get it too flat, and then when they go to transition, the club starts to go over, it stands up, trying to get back to the angle that it plays on, that it's built on, but it goes way too far, it goes over the top, okay? Now, that causes us to have some issues. Now, there's a second thing that I see people do is, and this relates to the second position of the swing, is if you have a bad takeaway, they bring the club in and they roll their hands in, then they try to get where they stand the club up. Now they've got everything out of whack, their arms are out of whack, everything is off angle, and so then they have to early extend to get everything to happen. They got to get these arms back in position. It all just doesn't work out very well. So we don't want to see that either. Now, what do we want to see as we go through position 3? Well, if you've gotten good at your takeaway, you can bring the club back, your hands stay straight back, you don't roll your hands outside, you bring the club back, and the club stays outside your hands. From here, all I really want to see is, I want to see my right elbow just start to fold up, okay, just folding up. The thing I tell people to think of is if you were going to start a lawnmower, you have the old pull on the cord lawnmower, right? If you're going to start that, that's basically what we're doing. When we do that, we're going to see this club stand straight up or pretty close to it, okay? Now, when you're thinking about this, what you're going to feel is the butt end of the club, it's going to feel like it's pointing down at your feet. That's what it feels like. Now, when you actually do this, and you look on video, you're going to see that the club is probably pointed somewhere just inside of the line of the ball, okay? Somewhere between your feet and the ball. That's where it's going to point, okay? It's really important to have some feedback on this one because what I always tell people is take that club back, feel the club just go straight up, feel like the club is pointing back behind you, a la Matthew Wolff, okay? Now when they feel that, they see that the golf club gets into a position where it's actually just barely looking inside the golf ball. It's very close to the same angle that they set up to at address. Those are really, really good things, okay? So this one's really important to have some feedback. Get a live view camera, get a mirror, something that you can look at and see what goes on in your swing. Now, as you continue through the swing, what's gonna happen is, because you stand it up, the club is gonna wanna shallow out more. We're gonna talk about that. It's not gonna wanna balance itself back out by going this way. Really, really good stuff is gonna start to happen. We wanna see those things go on, but they don't happen if you're not building up a backswing. So, what do I like to see again? Hands in, club vertical. It feels like it's pointing behind you, okay? This is kind of why Matthew Wolff's swing works. And that was my feel of it. We're gonna see that club shallow out behind us, really effortless swing, making that club travel. So in that P3, not too difficult in what we're looking for, but it is something that takes a lot of time to feel. Again, we don't wanna see that club rolling like this. I wanna see the club more vertical. I think people think, all right, hey, I wanna keep the club on plane. So I try and get the club rolled back like this. It's on plane. Problem is it's too flat. It's going to stand up. What on plane actually feels like is something more like this. And when you actually swing it, you're going to see that you're in a pretty good spot and you're going to be working yourself really well. So try that out with your P3. See what you got. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how it feels. Definitely going to take a little practice though if you're not used to standing that club up. So keep that in mind. All right, so there we go. That is P3 of the swing. You can just see how, as we start building a golf swing, if you're not hitting this position, you're going to really run into a lot of issues with a lot of the common problems that we see in golf, which is, early extension, over the top, open club face, things like that. Those all start happening because of the inability to get into a decent P3 position. That's typically what we see when I look at swing pictures of really high-level players, or when I teach them in person. Getting this part of the golf swing to change is really, really important. So it's very important as well to get a mirror or a camera on this one, because it is going to feel weird. You're going to be feeling like that golf club is pointed behind you, a la Matthew Wolff, and you're not even going to be close to that. The feel and the reel and connecting what those look like is going to be really, really important. So we want to make sure we nail this spot, and you're going to need that feedback as you go through this position. So there it is. Again, if you need more personalized help on your golf swing, if you're having a hard time getting to this spot, make sure you check out our online academy down in the links below. And as always, click that subscribe button. We're going to have more as we continue building the swing, more with drills coming up as well. So don't miss out on those. And as always, thanks everybody for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.